Set aside 5% of the cash you earn after taxes and put it in a bank account called fun money. Don't invest it. Spend it recklessly on things you want to do, and don't make yourself justify that spending. If you want to start a new project, then don't be too fancy. Begin with a minimum viable product. Always have a bias to action, always. Subscribe to this channel or I will become lazy and unproductive. Set a daily highlight. Each morning, ask yourself, what's the most important thing I want to do today, and then make sure you just do that thing. When you do this every day, or even most days, for a whole year, you make an incredible amount of progress. Have an hourglass on your desk. This is a simple reminder to make the most of your time. I use a sand timer, but you could also use an hourglass app on your phone or computer. Set a no internet day once a week. This has been a game changer for me. On Wednesdays, I don't allow myself to go on the internet until 5 p.m. This means no social media, no email, no news, no nothing. Make a to-do list. This is a list of things that you shouldn't do, no matter what. For me, this list includes things like checking my email first thing in the morning, working on the weekends, and checking social media frequently throughout the day. The Pomodoro technique. This is a time management technique that involves working for 25 minutes and then taking a 5-minute break. I've found that this helps me stay focused and avoid burnout. Batch similar tasks together. This means doing all of your similar tasks at the same time. For example, I like to batch all of my writing tasks together. So, if I have to write a blog post, record a video, and write an email, I'll do all of those things one after the other. Get in a flow state. This is when you're so focused on a task that you lose track of time. When you're in a flow state, you're usually in the zone and you're extremely productive. Take breaks regularly. It's important to take breaks throughout the day, even if you're in a flow state. I like to take a 5 to 10 minute break every hour or so. During my break, I'll usually walk around, get a drink of water, or do something else to relax. Have a set schedule. I've found that it's helpful to have a set schedule for my day. I know that I'll work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and I know that I'll take a break at 12 p.m. for lunch. Having a set schedule helps me stay on track and avoid getting sidetracked. Get rid of distractions. This is a big one. If you want to be productive, you need to get rid of anything that's going to distract you. For me, this means putting my phone on silent, turning off all notifications, and working in a quiet environment. Set goals. Having goals is important because it gives you something to strive for. I like to set both long-term and short-term goals. For example, my long-term goal might be to write a book and my short-term goal might be to write 1,000 words per day. Use a task manager. I use a task manager to keep track of all of the things I need to do. This helps me stay organized and make sure that I'm doing the most important tasks. I use the app Todoist, but there are a ton of other great options out there. Follow the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is the principle that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. This means that you should focus on the things that are giving you the most results. Delegate and outsource. Delegate and outsource the things that you don't need to do yourself. For example, I outsource my bookkeeping/accounting. This frees up my time so that I can focus on the things that I'm good at and that I enjoy. Take time for yourself. This is probably the most important tip of all. You can't be productive if you're not taking care of yourself. Take time for things like exercise, relaxation, and hobbies. This will help you avoid burnout and will make you more productive. If you want to explore a new skill, don't just consume information. Do the thing too. If you want to learn about music, don't just listen to a lot of music. Play it too. Every activity has indescribable aspects you can only discover in the course of action. You will rise fast in your career if busy people like working with you. Here's a tip: when you have a problem to solve, come prepared with a suggested next step. If you have a question, phrase it in a way they can answer yes/no. Ask yourself, how can I save this person time? Don't get offended by what others say. When you do, you're subconsciously telling other people not to tell you the truth, which leads to bigger problems in the long term. Don't choose what to read based on what was published recently. People have been writing for hundreds of years. Unless you need to for work, why prioritize the past 24 hours? Religion is core to the human experience, but the way contemporary elites and academics dismiss it is a major blind spot. Don't just read about religion. Experience it for yourself, even if you're a non-believer. Attend religious services from all walks of faith. Nothing good happens between the hours of 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. Go home. To judge a book, open to a random page in the middle and see how you like it. I recommend page 87. Close enough to the beginning that it's still written for a beginner, but deep enough that you're well past the introduction. Don't look for people without vices. Instead, look for people who are upfront about them. Everybody has a dark side, and people are much more trustworthy when you know their weaknesses. The industry you work in can dictate your success more than your performance in it. For example, if you want to make money, play tennis instead of badminton or pickleball. A top 10 tennis player earns 10 to 20x more than a top 10 player in the next most prosperous racket sport. Most of the pleasure in a dessert comes in the first 3 bites. After that, you should stop eating it. As a reward, you can eat dessert more often because you don't binge it. Spend at least 20% of your social time with people who are at least a decade older than you except family members. Don't aim for mentorship. Aim for a two-way exchange of value. You'll bring them vision and energy. They'll give you wisdom and opportunities. Thanks for listening. Explore our other videos like this and enrich your knowledge.